What's going on, guys? It's your boy Spudzie here, and today I have some low intensity DPS builds for you. The first video I made featuring low intensity builds covered all of the Ender Dragon specs and was overall well received. Since then, I've been asked to make similar videos for the rest of the specs for Guild Wars 2. To make things easier for Path of Fire, I decided to split things up into 3 parts. This is the second part and will cover 3 of my least played classes, the mediums. These videos are made to help people who want to try getting into endgame PvE but just need a place to start without having to learn complex rotations to even step foot in the content. These builds I'll be showcasing average above 25k DPS with minimal button presses. These are not the best DPS builds but are just an alternative or starting place for those who are looking for an easy or laid back experience. That being said, these builds are more than capable of clearing most of the content in Guild Wars 2's endgame. Now let's go ahead and jump right in. The Holosmith runs full Berserker's gear with Scholar's runes. Our weapons are a sword with superior sigil of impact and a shield with superior sigil of force. The shield in this set won't actually be used for any DPS gains, but it's just a defensive tool for if you get caught out. Our noteworthy skills are the laser disc and the grenade kit. The laser disc does fantastic passive damage with just a click of the button, while the grenade kit is taken for its massive tool belt skill. The traits are explosives, firearms, and Holosmith. These traits will provide massive DPS increases without us having to spare a thought as to what we're doing, as most of these work with the buttons we're already pressing. For the rotation, we're going to go ahead and start by popping our laser disc, head into the Photon Forge, and use skill 3 and skill 4 on cooldown until we overheat. While we're waiting for these skills to come back up, try to weave in our grenade tool belt skill as well for max damage. Once you overheat, just go ahead and swing your sword auto attacks, and it's that simple. If you understand this and want to take your DPS to the next level, this next rotation is for you. Start again by popping the laser disc, enter Photon Forge, and use skill 3 and 4 while weaving in tool belt 4 as previously mentioned. Once you overheat, immediately pop the elite skill, Prime Light Beam, and spam sword 2 off cooldown in between your auto attack chains. The DPS you're able to output with this rotation is huge, and will get even larger once the buffs drop on November 29th. For the gear, we're going to be running full Berserkers with Rune of the Scholar. Our weapon will be a rifle with superior sigil of force and accuracy. With these gear and stat combinations, you'll be looking at some heavy power DPS with practically maxed out crit. For our skills and traits, we took options that allowed us to be as passive as possible. All the skills besides the elite are signets. These signets will grant us some nice passives, while the elite skill will serve as our CC for break bars. For our traits, we take critical strikes, deadly arts, and Deadeye. Almost all, if not most, of these traits all consist of passive bonuses, which makes this build that much easier. When I say passive, I quite literally mean passive. Traits that grant us flat power and precision stats are plentiful within this build. Onto the rotation, if you want to even call it that. You want to start by kneeling. If you're watching this after the balance patch has gone live, do note that you'll be able to walk around instead of kneeling, which will be super helpful. Once kneeled, go ahead and use your F1 ability, this will be our Deadeye's mark. Then from there, just let your auto attacks do the work. You'll be averaging almost 20k DPS with your hands off the keyboard. Just make sure to refresh your Deadeye's mark whenever it's about to fall off. And if you really want an extra 1 to 2k DPS, you can go ahead and spam your 3 ability whenever you have the resources to do so. If you want to do even more auto attack damage, go ahead and trade out that dusty old rifle for a pair of these sick daggers. The dagger auto attacks actually do more damage than the rifle ones, with the only downside being that you're in melee range, but you can move at max speed. So go ahead and pick your poison. Get it? Cause like thieves and they're poison. Oh, bro. The Soulbeast utilizes full Berserker's gear with Scholar's runes. The weapons are double axes with superior sigil of force and superior sigil of accuracy. Our notable skills will be taking our 1 wolf pack and Sikkim. Our traits are skirmishing, beast mastery, and Soulbeast. These traits will make it so that our axes do big damage, which is even further amped up by our fury uptime and increased damages. This rotation requires you to be flanking. That means that you can stand on the sides of your target or the rear. You'll also want to stay merged with your pet during the entirety of this. Go ahead and start by popping 1 wolf pack and Sikkim into Axe 5. From there, throw your Axe 4 in front of the target and use Axe 2. Keep spamming these skills as they come off cooldown, and that'll be your whole rotation. If you want to pump out even more damage, you can go ahead and spam Axe 3 off cooldown as well to give yourself a nice boost. And there you have it. Those are the Path of Fire mediums all done. Let me know which build you're most excited to try out, and if you're going to try out any of these builds. If this video helped you, please consider leaving a like and leaving a sub, as it helps out a ton. Next up is the light classes, which will be coming very soon. Thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.